Hey guys, so as I have been going through your informative speech outlines, there's a couple of things that I want to review for your persuasive speech, and they're all kind of in the planning section of your outlines. The first one is your specific purpose. Now, the specific purpose is truly so important in your persuasive speech because it's that measurable behavioral objective you have for your audience. So what is that thing that you're going to be persuading the audience to do? For our class, it should always be a measurable objective. So what are they going to do with the information that you're giving them? What action are they going to take? So when you look at your call to action in your conclusion, what is that thing that you're going to be asking them to do? Otherwise, it's just an informative speech. So do you want them to write their congressman? Do you want them, or congressperson? Do you want them to donate money? Do you want them to share information? Do you want them to seek out more information? What is it that you want the audience to do? That is your specific purpose. And you always construct your speech thinking about, I want to achieve this specific purpose, and how am I going to get that done? Okay, the next point that I want to make is how you construct your, how you organize your speech. So I know for the informative speeches, a lot of them were just topical organization, and that makes sense for an informative speech. But in a persuasive speech, there are different organizational patterns, as you probably remember from the text. So there are problem and solution, cause and effect, motivated sequence, and I'm forgetting one, but I think there's one more. And so you guys can look into that. But I do want to recommend that you use motivated sequence because it is basically built into the structure of our outline already. And so one of the big parts about motivated sequence is getting the audience to recognize there is a problem. So that comes in the reason to listen. And I want to remind you guys about that section in your introduction, the reason to listen. It's so important because sometimes you'll have a neutral audience. Maybe they don't care one way or another. But because they're neutral, it's probably because they don't see how the issue affects them. So in that reason to listen section in your outline, you really need to hit home how this issue affects your audience specifically. That's a really big part of persuasive speeches because you really have to connect to the audience and see how this issue affects them. Also, a part of motivated sequence is the realization step. And so in the realization step, you show the audience how the solution that you proposed is doable. So that's really important because we can offer a solution and it's not really feasible, or it's just kind of like a pie in the sky idea, which I don't discourage, but it should be something that's doable, something that the audience can do, some real action that they can see take place. And so that's another thing that I wanted to have you guys focus on for your persuasive speeches. Another thing that I wanted to have you guys focus on is delivery. So eye contact with the camera, thinking about not reading off a script, also thinking about how you deliver your message, and also think about a variety of support. So ethos, logos, and pathos. You need those facts, those figures. You need to cite where you got them from, absolutely, in a persuasive speech, especially if it's a controversial issue. So that's your logos. Your ethos, you need to deliver really well so the audience feels that you are credible to talk on the topic. Also, citing your sources helps with your own ethos and talking about how this issue has impacted you, or how you have experienced something regarding this topic that you're talking about. And then the pathos, please don't forget this. A lot of times people are persuaded based off of emotion, more so than facts, because too many facts and it just goes over the audience's head. Like numbers, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, like whatever, they just said a lot of numbers. If you can make those numbers more meaningful to the audience through story, and especially if you can get really interesting stories, or you can get really into telling the story, that's the best way to go. So ethos, logos, and pathos, your reason to listen, and then do not forget your call to action. And your call to action should be easy and doable. So something that the audience can do immediately is more likely to get done than something that they have to do down the road or something that takes a lot of effort. So those are my tips for you guys for your persuasive speeches. If you guys need any help constructing those speeches in the meantime, let me know. I look forward to seeing those, and best of luck, y'all.